This video is part of a whole course called Basic Video Editing. If you want to see the next segment where you'll learn tips and techniques for editing audio, you're in luck because we're giving it to you for free. Just click the link in the description and follow the directions.
Editing is a unique art form. It has the potential to tell a story and make an audience feel emotions, all while being virtually undetectable. With the power and speed of computers, the art of storytelling has gotten easier than ever before. Even so, there are a few time-tested techniques you will want to follow in order to make your edits flow just as smoothly as they do in the movies. The first technique we'll be taking a look at is screen direction. Screen direction refers to how the audience perceives the direction something is either looking at or moving to on the screen. A common error among beginning editors is changing screen direction in the middle of a shot sequence. You'll want to avoid this since it tends to look unnatural and confuse your audience. Let's take a look at an example of what we're talking about. In this shot, we have a man across the street walking from left to right. In the next cut, however, he's walking from right to left. Then he's shown walking from screen left to screen right again, breaking the illusion. In order to solve this problem, you could either simply eliminate the shot from your sequence, or if you have other shots to choose from, insert a neutral shot. Let's go back and take a look at our sequence again. First, we see our man walking from screen left to screen right. This time, we'll take out the middle shot in the sequence and instead insert a shot showing the man coming toward the camera. When played back, you can see this allows the audience to still feel that the movement of the scene is going in the same direction. Another example of this would be when you want to show two characters on screen talking to each other. If one person is shown on the left of the screen, looking right, the audience expects the other person in the conversation to be placed on the opposite side of the screen, looking screen left, creating the illusion of two people talking face to face. When this rule isn't followed, the results may look like two people who are talking to another person or by themselves. Pacing and timing can really help a video edit go from good to great. So when editing your video, you'll want to make sure to avoid a few of the most common pacing errors. Here's an example of a pacing error. See if you can spot what is wrong. As you could see in that clip, the shots lingered too long for the pacing of the music. In order to make it more interesting, it would have been a good idea to have placed more cuts shot at different angles during this scene. You have to be careful here so that you don't put in too many cuts. Here's an example of cutting a scene too quickly. The reason you don't want to make your edit like that is because it doesn't allow the viewer to establish himself in the scene. Instead, it's always a good idea to first let your audience get established in the scene by using an opening shot, and second, edit to the beat of your music and emotional feel. Another common pacing error is what is known as lagging lull. A lagging lull occurs when an action seems stalled in a scene, making it look too rehearsed. Take a look at what I mean. In this example, a man is reaching for a door handle. In grabbing the handle, he stalls, most likely thinking about his next move, and then turns the handle. Thankfully, there is a quick fix to this kind of error. You can simply allow the action of grabbing the handle to progress in one shot and then cut to another shot right at the point where he turns the handle. This will help your audience believe it is one smooth action rather than two. A term you've probably heard of quite a bit in film is continuity. Continuity refers to the persistence of either an action or an item in a scene. If something in a scene changes positions from one cut to the next, it can pull your audience from your video and make them feel as if they're watching a movie with multiple takes rather than just one. This is so important in the film industry that they actually have a paid position for people to watch for it. That being said, there are some very common continuity errors in both film and television that you should watch out for in making your own video. Things like ice, water levels in glasses, clocks, and smoke can commonly change from one scene to the next, even in Hollywood productions. Take this scene for instance. See if you can find all 4 of the continuity errors that unfortunately made it into the final cut. In the first cut, we see a man and a woman drinking iced tea. But in the next cut, we see the man's hand on the table with his sleeves rolled down instead of up. Also, the ice in the man's glass has gone from solid to mostly melted. When we go to the next shot, we can again see that the ice, the tea, and the sleeves have changed back. Lastly, when we go to this close-up shot, we can see that the man is no longer wearing glasses, which does not match the last shot in the sequence. The best way to fix continuity errors by far is to shoot with continuity in mind. Also, if you have another shot that would make sense in your edit, use it instead. A distracting phenomenon that most first-time shooters and editors forget about is jump cutting. Jump cuts happen when there is too little difference in the sequence from one angle to the next. Let's take a look at an example. In this first shot, 2 people are talking while enjoying some iced tea. When we go to the next shot, however, we suddenly feel aware of the camera since there's so little difference from the first shot to the next. Instead, if we would insert a shot such as this close-up of the man's drink, then go back to the wide shot of the table, we no longer feel as if we've suddenly jumped ahead in time because our second shot moved enough that the audience feels like they are seeing a whole new viewpoint. A good way to remember how to avoid this is by always making sure that each shot is taken more than 30 degrees from the location of the first shot. Of course, the best way to avoid this problem is by good planning. If you storyboard with jump cutting in mind, you can save yourself a world of headaches down the road. Editing can be one of the most rewarding parts of a production. It's where you can finally see your story come to life. And by following all of the techniques we've shown you, you can make sure that your audience sees your story in the way that you've always envisioned it.
Thanks for watching. If you want to watch the next video in this course, where you'll learn tips and techniques for editing audio, follow the link in the description and we'll give it to you for free.